John Mellencamp was born in Seymour, Indiana, indeed a small town. And after the release of this wonderful song, many have referred to him as the champion of small town America. It's been used by athletes to honor the small towns that they came from. It's been used in films, and it reached number 7 on the Billboard charts. From the album Scarecrow, here's John Cougar Mellencamp, Small Town. Okay, well, Small Town is written in the key of B, which means when we place a capo on the 4th fret, the way we are supposed to for this song, then we get away with playing some nice, easy open chords. The G's and the D's and the C's, which is what I'm going to call them for this lesson. Of course, when I play a G chord, and I'm starting with my 3rd finger on the 7th fret, like that, with a capo on the 4th fret, this becomes the new nut, and this now becomes a B chord. But we're not going to call it that. So we don't want to confuse you. We're going to name everything by its open chord name. So here are the chords you need, played open, with a capo on the 4th fret, for Small Town. You need a super G chord, which is a regular G chord. I'm just going to take my pinky and flatten it out so I include the 2nd string there at the 7th fret. You also need a regular G. We're going to use that later on as well. You need an open D chord, an open C chord, and you need a C9. And the way I make a C9 is take that regular C chord and just add the pinky again to the 7th fret of the 2nd string. Like so. Now this finger becomes redundant. You don't really need it there. The only reason I have that finger there on the 5th fret is it's easier for me in the midst of a song to grab a regular C chord. My fingers are used to grabbing a C chord, and then just add the pinky there. I find that much easier than trying to find the C9 without the index finger. So you can play it this way. It's beautiful, but I'm just suggesting you grab a C chord and then add the pinky there. Okay, you also need an A minor chord. And finally, you need an E minor chord. And those are the chords you need for Small Town. Okay, that's the chord progression that intros the song and drives the song all the way through. So once you learn this, you've got the main part of the song, and then we go to other little bits and whatnot. But once you have this, you have the main driving chord progression in the song. All right, we start with a super G chord, 2 strums down on that. Then we go to the open D, strum it, open up that 3rd string, and pick it. So lift our index finger off the 3rd string. The next note is sneaking our pinky down to the 8th fret of the 4th string. So practice that over and over again until it's smooth. It's a little bit tricky. And that's the transition to the next chord, which is a C9. So we play, and then back to the D. So that whole sequence played nice and slowly for you. I'm just making sure you get a good look at the right hand. All right, let's take that sequence, that progression, we'll put the A minor chord in there, and when we add the A minor chord into the sequence, the 4th time through, we end up with what we play through a verse. So the verse playthrough would be like this. right, so let's add some lyrics to that, and we'll include an intro, and then we'll play through a verse.
Down in a small town, all those small communities.
All right, the next little alternative section is where we're going to use that regular open C formation and the open G back and forth, and then we're going to use a D chord, but we're going to play around with the D sus2 D sus4, and those are just sus chords, which means for the D sus2 I remove my second finger and have an open string, and then the D sus4 I just flatten my third finger to add that 7th fret note. So Beatles, Birds, use it all the time. Okay, so it's going to go like this. No, I cannot forget where it is that I come from. I forget the people who love me. Yeah, I can be myself here in this small town, and people let me be just what I want to be. Okay, so let's take a look at the right hand there. No, I cannot forget where it is that I come from. I cannot forget the people who love me. Yeah, I can be myself here in this small town, and people let me be just what I want to be. Okay, let's do that at full speed with vocal. 1, 2, 3.
No, I cannot forget where it is that I come from. I cannot forget the people who love me. I can be myself here in this small town, and people let me be just what I want to be.
All right, well, I was reluctant to call that last section a bridge section, but I guess it probably was, which would make this next section kind of an instrumental interlude. It starts in E minor. That's where we need the E minor chord. Then it really builds up here, builds up a little bit of energy, and then as soon as this section is over, it cuts it right back to nothing. The song goes right back to really, the way it's a dynamics thing, and Mellencamp is very good at this. He builds it up, gets you all excited, and then brings it down to, got nothing against a big town. Goes back into that verse. So this section goes like this, and it begins again with this E minor chord. Okay, let's walk through that. E minor, and I'll try and show you the strumming at the same time here. That's just a little step down from the 8th fret, or 7th fret rather, to the 6th fret, back to the E minor chord. Second time through, it goes to the G. And that's just a little musical climb there. 5th fret open, 2nd fret 5th string, open 4th string. And that's to lead into the D. And you can do a D sus4 there. So, second section again. the first one. We go into that quiet section. So we'll play it through one time again here at full speed, this section with the E minor. Here we go. All right, well, the last little bit I have to tell you about is what to play when he brings it down nice and soft again. This is for the final two verses, and it comes off of this strong build at the end of the instrumental section. So you're coming off of this. And this is what he plays through these final two verses. Softly, we go back to the original, super G, D, C9. Now when we play that C9 chord, our fingers are in position for this little three-note up pick thing, which he adds at the end of every three chords. So it's... Okay, and what we're really picking there is an open string. Our pinky for the C9 is on the 7th fret of the 2nd string, and then it's an open 3rd string as well, with the capo, of course. So again, really softly. But we do get hard in here. The only thing that stays hard is the snare drum. In this part of the song, guitar comes back in softly, vocals a little more meaningful and spiritual, if you like. The snare drum really keeps it going. Now I'm going to suggest an up pick on the 1st string, down on 2, and down on 3 for that little 3-note sequence. Now you're going to play that a couple times through without any vocal, and then you're going to bring the vocal in for the 2nd last verse, which has got nothing against a big town. So let's play through that little section. And then when that's done, when we finish that final verse, we're just right back in to... Right back into, ooh, yeah! He does a kind of a finish and scats a little bit and all that sort of stuff, and we'll show you how to end the song then too. Okay, so here's a little playthrough of that softened section.
Got nothing against a big town. Still hayseed enough to say, look who's in the big town. My bed's in a small town, and that's good enough for me. Well, I was born in a small town, and I can breathe in a small town. Gonna die in a small town, oh, that's probably where they bury me. Yeah!
The ending to Small Town, as I mentioned, is just playing through that main progression. It actually plays through it 8 times, and you know, you can fill in a little bit of ooh yeah, that kind of stuff that he does in there. On the 8th time through, he ends up finishing on the C9 chord. So the very last time you play through, you play like this. Again. fine-tuning for Small Town. What a great tune, and a lot of the impact of this song is the feel that he puts into it and the dynamics. So first verse, which all the verses are kind of split verses. The first verse is a little bit softer, kind of intros the song. Then he picks it up, kicks it in, kicks the band in for the second verse, second split verse. We've got a couple nice little sections in there. The bridge section, then a really cool little instrumental bit. That little section as well. Put all the pieces together, practice playing through each section that I've shown you, and then you can put it together as a complete song, including the ending we showed you. Dynamics and feel, just like being in a small town. We'll see you next time on Song Enter.